one particular stanza here, which I sang. It says, "खाक हो गुरु के कदम की, तो प्रभु मिल जाएगा." Clear your heart of ego, fine. And then he says what? Fill it with love and devotion, fine. And then he says, you have to become the dust at the feet of the Master. You have to become the dust of the Master's feet. Then and only then will you get God. That means we have to become dust. You know how powerful that statement is? खाक हो गुरु के कदम की, तो प्रभु मिल जाएगा. When Pedaputama, this is a lady who has seen Shirdi Baba when she was 15 or 16 in her teenage, and then she came to Puttaparthi and she has written a book in Telugu. So Pedaputtu is the big Puttu. She had a huge big circle. You could spot her anywhere in the crowd because of that. One big Puttu. And she was the one who was the only one I remember very vaguely now, because it was an early age. When Swami would come out for darshan, she would just call out to Baba, Baba, what? 3 days you're not seeing me. So she was the one, because she's pretty old and she treated Baba as a child. That's the Vatsalya Bhakti, or that was her path. She just treated Baba as, oh, what do you know? You will simply talk Baba. This is very hot. You don't go without chappals. Like that she'll talk to Baba. So Baba, used to avoid Baba. Swami would feel embarrassed. So he'd avoid her, because in darshan time she'll be calling like this. Though there were not so many devotees then, but even then there was a sizable crowd. There was at least 1,000 people around. But so this lady would just wave to Baba and say, "What is it? You're not come and seen me for so many days." So Swami had invited her and us for one evening interview. And that was a very fascinating interview. Because Swami, and I vaguely remember bits and pieces. Like I said, I might remember when the time comes more, but vaguely remember the bits and pieces. And one of the most powerful things is Swami said, you know how much I have tested this woman? How much have I tested, she won't let me go. And she just laughed at Swami. I laughed at Swami. And then Swami turned around and said, my tests. And later on, of course, Swami has also told me, what is this test you all are talking about? I don't know to test anybody. So this Swami plays around with you. But that evening for me was this the point I'm talking about, how to become a dust at the feet of God. Where you have to be ready to become a nothing. It's very difficult to comprehend. It doesn't, like I was talking yesterday, it doesn't mean, oh my God, am I going to lose everything? Am I going to be on the streets? This is a fear. We're clinging to a fear of the unknown, which may never come to pass. But are we in heart and mind ready to do that? Yes, take me, Lord. Whatever comes, take me. We can do that in a fit of emotion for 5 minutes, but can we sustain it and be ready? Right? Today, right now, in this moment, all of us will say, yes, Swami, we are ready to give. Please, Swami, take us right now. But tomorrow morning might be a different story. When we get a bad news through a mail or something, they must say, oh my gosh, Swami, oh Swami, please help me, Swami. We are afraid to become the dust because we want to cling to this image of who we are. And so he said, I have 3 zeros. 3 zeros. We looked at him. At that moment he became very solemn, very serious. That's why that stayed with me. He says, if you want God's grace, you should be ready. He didn't say God is going to do this to you. He says you should be ready to let go all your material possessions. Oh, naku the dabbu undi, car undi, bungalow undi. I have a bungalow, I have a car, I have business, I have money. You should be ready to let go. That is my first zero. Second zero, you should be ready to let go all your attachments. Oh, my person, I love this person, I love that person, my attachments, my. You should be ready to let go all your kith and kin. Are you ready? We just kept quiet. That was too much for us to take that. We were fresh youngsters. But he said it so sweetly. But he said, you're all asking for Swami's grace because he spoke so highly of Pedaputtu. And she's such a great devotee. And then, who of you want to be devotees? We all like, yes, Swami, we all want to be. Swami said, oh, it's so easy to become God's devotee. Are you ready to pass my 3 zeros? Are you ready to give up all your worldly possessions? The second zero, are you ready to give up all your kith and kin, all your attachments, be alone in this world? And he said, third zero, are you ready to give up your reputation? Because without money, without friends, you will still be sadhu. You will be a sannyasi. People will bow to you. But with a bad reputation, people will spit at you. People won't look at you. You will be a nobody. Then, if you still yearn for God's love, I will be there for you. Are you ready? He asked. None of us raised our hands and said, yes, we did. We were literally, oh my gosh. So he was sitting in this chair and he was leaning. He said, who is ready? I said, oh. And he smiled. He said, that is divine path. That is bhakti. Are we ready to let everything go? Are we ready? That is a question each one of us to ask ourselves. Not today, not tonight, tomorrow, but every day, every moment. So when I crave for God, when I yearn for Him, and I don't feel His presence, is it because it's all about me? Or is it all about Him? When it's all about Him and less of me, then He's already there. He's already filled your being. And I think that was a powerful message I took from the song, and that's why it's one of my favorite songs. Khak ho Guru ke kadam ki. I've still not become a dust. That is why I'm questioning what is happening in my life. Making it dust. Just give me the strength. Snap me. One Swami in Kodaikanal, he had these, we call it Tetra Packs. I don't know what do you call them. Tetra Packs, does it ring a bell at all? These cardboard boxes, juice boxes, right? You finish it and then you can blow it and then put it down and stamp it. So I have a picture of Swami stamping it in Kodaikanal. So we had fruity or something was there. So Swami one boy had finished it. Swami said, you know what you can do with this? Oh, you don't know? We all said, what do you do? We just throw it out. So where would you think Swami is going to... Swami said, what? And he blew it and then put it down and went, boom! He lifted his leg and went, boom! See how big noise it made. So he was very childlike. But I think that is what we want. We want Him to blow us up, put us under His feet, and then one snap. So, satsangs like these, spiritual gatherings like these, when we lose ourselves in thought of Sai, when we lose ourselves in thought of God, gives us energy, gives us spiritual strength to face this path. Because truly we are divine. He has come to teach us that. And that is the lesson He wants us to take home of being a devotee of Baba. That's why I was sharing again this last night, this very thought, that it is very easy for us to make a picture of Him and put Him along with the other 500 gods that we already have in the altar and say, oh Baba, He can do everything, He is God, and walk away, saying, but I am not, I am just a poor guy, I have to live with all this, but He is God, He can do anything. So again, we have created the distance. He broke that distance, came down to be like us, to show us that, hey, you know what, you and I are one. I can break my hip like you can. I can walk like you can. I can talk like you can. But when I'm sick, look what I'm doing. When you're sick, look what you're doing. You're crying for help, I'm carrying on my mission. He set an example. He lived within 4 walls of stone and just 10 by 12 feet rooms throughout his life, most of his life. That didn't confine him. He didn't crave for a morning breath of fresh air or a jog by the beach. Everything that seems so wonderful and nice to us, he didn't crave for a nice glimpse of the setting sun or a nice melody, soft music in his room. Hari Prasad Chaurasya playing the flute or, I don't know, Philharmonic Orchestra or something. I don't know. Whatever appeals to us. None of the things that you and I would think are important to put us in the spiritual mood, nothing. He had access to a source which was far greater than all of us can ever imagine. And watching him live like us has to give us the faith and us to pass that faith on to our children as if he can do it, you can do it too. And tell ourselves if he can do it, I can do it too. Not out of arrogance, But because he came down to just show us that very thing, that is what Jesus did when he walked this earth. These masters walk the earth, do the miracles, and yet be so simply human, just to show us that, hey, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I have it. You can also reach it. It's within you. Krishna said it. Jesus said it. Sai Baba said it. If we turned our face away for all those and made churches and organizations and built it over centuries, but nobody really takes the essence of it, let us not allow that to happen with Sai. It's very easy for us to fall into that trap because the ego is so powerful that it will make you believe that, oh, you are a humble guy. Just humility. Yeah, that is good devotion. Yeah, keep it there. That's devotion. Ask yourself, is this devotion? That I feel victimized, I feel like a victim, I'm constantly praying for Swami, guide me, guide me. Guide you for what? Guide you to go where? You are divine. Where do you want to go? That is what he's telling you. I am God. I am not different from God. If we take that as our mantra, and there is no waiting to achieve that stage. Many times after my presentation, people come to me and say, see, you have been with Baba, so you are there now, you have progressed there. We are all right here. So for us, how do we go there? I said, nobody is going from here to there. These are all ideas in our head that we carry. We think to say, I am God, or Swami and I are one, it's blasphemy. Oh, that will come later on. Right now let me do bhajans. So we push it away. When is it ever going to come? It will never come until you start saying it. Right? When you going to drive back home, I don't care how close or far you are, but you get into your car, you're not going to see your home unless it's right across the street. Then you don't need a car, you'll probably walk down. But when you sit in the car, you're not going to see your home. Can you see your home? No. What are you going to see? You're going to see the end of the driveway. At that point. And what is your focus? So what do you say? Oh my God, I can't see my home. That is way beyond. I can't go anywhere. Sorry, I can't drive. It sounds so foolish, right? Even the GPS doesn't show you the entire path unless you go dig in and show you. Just show you turn by turn direction. So GPS say back out 50 feet. So okay, take the 50 feet step. So to say I am God may make no sense to you. You might say, oh, that is too difficult for me. That is vague. I can't even comprehend. Doesn't matter. But take a first step. Jo bhaje hari ko sada. Let me constantly live in chanting God's name. That makes sense to me. That's my first step. But my aim is to finally go to this destination. The destination has to be very clear in our yearning. And once we seek that destination and take turn by turn, he's the GPS, he guides you. It's okay, next step, take left. Just listen to him, take left. He'll come to you in the dream, he will come to you through a friend, he'll come through to your TV advertisement. I don't care how God needs to communicate something to you, he will come to you. Even if you're watching Shah Rukh Khan do his best dance, I don't know if he still does dance or not, but even right in the middle of that, if he has to convey it to you, you will get it. If you have yearned that. Plant that seed. That Swami, give me the highest learning. Let me benefit by your presence. Let me benefit by your teachings. There has to be a message with your life. I want to take that home. And his resurrection, on the day of resurrection, celebrated by millions across the world. For him, whether they said Sai or Jesus, for him it made no difference. For you and me it makes a difference. But he said, when I leave, everybody will be remembering me. And on the day of resurrection, millions and billions of people across the world remembered resurrection. Whether it was Jews or Christians or even Muslims, they all knew what resurrection was. Everybody knew the day of Easter. The day of resurrection. And he chose that day to leave the world. Yes, the world is thinking of the infinite. Today is my day. I mean, it's a fascinating exhibit. Again, as a big surprise to all of us. I mean, nobody could fathom it. When is ever a good time to tell bye to Swami? There is never a good time. So the memory of that is always going to be painful for those of us who know him, who love him. It's always going to be painful. But for him to have made us chant that entire month, spend thoughts in his satsang. How many of us did chanting? How many of us purified ourselves? he let go. I think he just unleashed his entire potential on every single devotee who was chanting his name. And he left. Can't be a much more glorious exit than that for an avatar. It wasn't unlike Krishna who died in some forest killed by some hunter. It wasn't like Jesus who got crucified, leaving all the devotees, 12 of those people completely shaken in their faith. There was no big test for us. He made us chant, 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 and the day of resurrection, he resurrected himself back into this infinite glory that he came from. That is the beauty of Baba. I would like to finish this morning's presentation with a small song. We hadn't practiced this, or I didn't share this with you yesterday, but it's coming to me now, and I think it's nice that you just give it a shruti, and you will get it. He's a very talented boy, and I'm so sorry, I sat with him last minute at 11 o'clock last night, and he picked up so much from me, so I'm very grateful to him and Bala for accompanying it and making this a beautiful satsang. Kabir was a very great saint, and he shared a song, and I want to present that song in Baba's presence and how this related to me, put up here. And we can all join together because there will be bhajans in the middle and we'll sing together and experience the glorious days when he actually walked in the ashram, when he actually gave darshan. It seems only like yesterday. And like I said, those thoughts or those memories are so fresh in our hearts, it's hard to believe that physically he is no more. But rather than languishing on that side of the picture and saying, "Oh Swami, I'm missing you," that is there. That's always going to be there. We are always going to miss him. When is one day we're going to say, "Oh, now I don't miss him anymore"? We can never do that. The Guru, for me, he was my only God, my only Guru. But if you understand what he stood for, if you understood where he came from, and what his life meant, you take the spirit of Sai with you, and that empowers you, that consoles you, that gives you the courage, the wisdom, and guides your thought and word and deed every day. But Swami, having said that, I want to cheat today and take us all back to the days when you actually walked amongst us, spoke to us, and when every darshan of yours was a different darshan. And I want to share that with this bhajan. Re ma pa ni sa re ni da pa ni sa re ni da pa da ma ga re pa ma re ga ni sa. कबीरा जब हम पैदा हुए जग हंसे हम रोए. As he sat behind the spinning wheel, Kabir was a saint. No, I said, he's not meditating and getting this intuitive song, this beautiful, powerful poem that he wrote. He got it by doing his daily work, cutting vegetables, sitting in front of a computer, or cutting vegetables, sitting in front of the computer. He is spinning. He is spinning cotton into thread, and the thread into a blanket. And he discovers this strange irony, crosses his mind, and he says, "Oh world, this is Kabira singing. Kabira, jab hum paida hue." Oh, Kabira singing. What does he sing? He says, "Oh man, look at this irony. When you came into this world, you came crying. And watching you cry, everybody else was laughing. The baby is born, the baby is the one who's wailing, right? And everybody else around is laughing. And so what's the irony there? He says, "Jab hum paida hue, जग हंसे हम रोए, ऐसी करनी कर चलो कि हम हंसे जग रोए. When you came into this world, you came crying and everybody else was laughing. Oh man, may your deeds be such that when it is time for you to leave, you go laughing and leave everyone else to cry. What profound truth. And then as you wove this blanket, he said, this blanket is like me. It's like my body. What do you do with this blanket? And so he compared this blanket to his body. And he said, drench this blanket in the name of God. Chadariya jeeni re jeeni, jeeni re jeeni, ye naam naam ras meri chadariya, jeeni re jeeni, naam naam ras meri chadariya, jeeni re jeeni. How was this body made? How did this blanket come into being? अष्टकमल का चरखा बनाया पांच तत्व की भूमि, 9-10 मास उनन को लागे, 9-10 मास उनन को लागे, मूरख मैली कीनी चढ़ी जीनी रे जीनी, ये राम नाम रस कीनी चढ़ी जीनी रे जीनी. जब मोर चादर बन गया चदरिया, जब मोर चादर बन गया. When the blanket came of age, when the body came of age, what do you do with this? I send it to the Guru. The blanket is sent to get dyed. Right? You want to make the cloth, now you want to dye the cloth in some color. What color do I give this cloth? He says, give it the color of God Himself. Why do you stop for anything less? So send this body to the Guru's ashram and let it be colored in the color of God Himself. जब मोर चादर बन कर आई अंग्रेज कोरी, ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे, ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे, के लालो लाल कर दी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी, राम नाम रस कीनी चढ़ी जीनी रे जीनी. रूह प्रहलाद सुदामा ने ओढ़ी चदरिया रे, रूह प्रहलाद सुदामा. Dhruv, Prahalad, all these youngsters, all of them wore this blanket. All of them became saints. This bhajan reminds me of my days in Prashantanaya. For 15 years, we saw Swami every day, sometimes 4-5 times in a day. But believe me, not a single darshan was the same as the previous one. Every time we stepped out of that room, every time we saw him, there was a different melody in the air. There was a different bhajan around him. There was a different aroma. There was a completely different energy. That is why every darshan we would crave for every darshan. It would never be like, oh, I had a morning darshan, I'm going to skip the evening darshan. No, I want to see him again. I want to see him again. Why? Because every time you saw him, he was different. I want to share that experience of our 24-hour darshan through this bhajan. It would be evening time as all the boys after the school, we would rush and sit at Swami and he would come out and there would be the chirping of the birds and the gentle breeze in the Prashant Nilayam. It would almost be like the time for Rag Desh, which is the Rag of this bhajan. Sudamane ode chadariya. And as Swami would step out for darshan, this bhajan would come to my mind. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. Let's enjoy his darshan of this bhajan. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. Patita Pavan Sita Raghupati Raghav Raja